The wine my daughter-in-law sent. The next day her panicked voice asked, "Did anyone else drink it?" I said a name, and then her scream exposed every secret. "Did anyone else drink it?" My daughter-in-law's voice was trembling so badly that I had to pull the phone away from my ear and look at the screen to make sure the call hadn't dropped. It was 7:12 a.m. I was standing barefoot on the cold wooden floor of my kitchen in Willowbrook, Pennsylvania, my coffee half poured, and the empty bottle of Cabernet she had sent sitting in the recycling bin. "No," I said quietly. "Just me." A few seconds of silence followed. I could hear her breathing. She wasn't crying. Not yet. It was that tight, panicked breathing of someone who almost slipped in the dark. "And you're okay?" she asked. I let the silence stretch on purpose. Why wouldn't I be? Another pause. Then in a very low voice, "Because that bottle wasn't meant for you." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't curse. I simply said a name. I poured a glass for Aiden too. The sound that tore out of her throat wasn't a word. It was as if something inside her snapped. Then she screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away again. And just like that, everything began to crack open. My name is Harper Coleridge. I'm 58 years old. I live in the same blue house my son grew up in. The one with the porch that slopes slightly to the right and the mailbox that leans no matter how many times I hammer it back into place. I work part-time at a medical supply store 3 blocks from here because Social Security doesn't stretch far enough to cover the mortgage and my prescriptions. I still owe $48,000 on this house. My husband, Lyle, died 7 years ago. Sudden heart attack. 59 years old. The hospital bill was $94,000. I'm still paying on that too. I don't drink much. But when the package arrived yesterday, bubble-wrapped, carefully packed with Sable's neat handwriting on the card, I let myself believe something had shifted. "For all you've done." It almost made me cry. Sable has been married to my son Aiden for 4 years. She's 34, polished, precise, always composed. She works in brand strategy for some tech company that pays her more in a month than I see in half a year. They live in Marine Hollow, Maryland, in a development where every house looks freshly scrubbed and every lawn is cut at the exact same height. She has never liked how often Aiden visits me. She says she doesn't mind. But I see it. The tightness around her mouth when he says he's driving up to help me fix the gutters. The way she checks her watch when he stays too long. So when that bottle showed up, I thought maybe it was peace. Last night Aiden came by around 6. He looked tired. Thinner than usual. "I need to talk," he said. When your adult son says that, it usually means something is breaking. I opened the bottle while he sat at the kitchen table. The cork came out clean. It smelled rich, deep. I poured 2 glasses. He hesitated. "You sure?" he asked. "It's from your wife," I said with a small smile. "If it's poison, we'll go together." He didn't smile back. That was my second warning. I took a sip first. It tasted expensive. Dark cherry maybe. But beneath it, something sharp. Bitter in a way that didn't belong. I only swallowed a small amount. My stomach tightened. Aiden took a larger drink. Then he started talking. About stress. About arguments. About money. About feeling pulled in 2 directions. Halfway through he got up to use the bathroom. And I don't know why, maybe instinct, maybe decades of motherhood, but I switched our glasses. He came back. Finished what he thought was his. By 8 o'clock he looked pale. I told him to go home and rest. At 6:58 a.m. Sable called. After her scream she hung up. 10 minutes later, Officer Malik Bravo from Marine Hollow Police Department called to tell me my son had been admitted to the hospital with suspected poisoning. The drive usually takes an hour and 15 minutes. I made it in 58. Sable was in the waiting room when I arrived. No makeup. Hair pulled back too tightly. She looked smaller. "What did you do?" she whispered. I stared at her. "What did I do? You said you drank it too. Why are you fine?" I held her gaze. "Because I didn't." Her face drained. "You switched the glasses," she said. "Yes." The doctor came out soon after. Aiden would recover. The sedative level was high but not fatal. They pumped his stomach. Monitored his vitals. Sedative. Not wine. Police asked questions. Who purchased it? Whose card? Who handled it before delivery? "It came directly from Aubrey Ridge in Oregon," I said calmly. $85. Sable said maybe someone tampered with it in shipping. But when the officer asked if anyone else had access before it was sealed and mailed, she hesitated too long. Later that evening, after Aiden was stable, she cornered me in the hallway. "It wasn't meant to hurt him," she said. "So it was meant to hurt me." Her silence confirmed it. "I just needed him to see," she said. "You're always there. He won't put space between you. He keeps helping with your mortgage. He keeps coming back. Jealousy doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it's quiet and calculating. You tried to poison me because your husband loves his mother. It wasn't lethal," she snapped. "Just enough to make you sick. To show him you're fragile. That you're a burden." That word settled into my chest like a stone. Burden. I thought about the double shifts I worked when Lyle got laid off. The nights I stayed awake when Aiden had fevers. The $15,000 I pulled from retirement to help them with their down payment. "You miscalculated," I told her. "You didn't expect him to drink it. And you didn't expect me to switch the glasses." Lab results confirmed crushed prescription sedatives in the wine. They traced the prescription to Sable. She was charged. Aiden stayed in the hospital 2 nights. He didn't speak much at first. Just stared at the ceiling. 2 weeks later he moved out of their house. He rented a small apartment 15 minutes from me. Not with me, but close. One evening he sat at my kitchen table again. The same table where he almost died. "I should have seen it," he said quietly. "You loved her," I replied. "That's not blindness. That's hope." He rubbed his hands together. "She said you were holding me back. That I couldn't grow if I kept coming here. And what do you think?" He looked around the kitchen. The peeling paint. The old fridge that hums too loudly. "I think I'm here because I want to be." That was the first time I felt something inside me straighten. The investigation moved quickly. Sable's lawyer negotiated a plea deal. Probation. Community service. Mandatory counseling. No jail time. Aiden filed for divorce. The day of the hearing I saw her in court. She looked smaller than ever. She didn't look at me. I didn't look away. The mortgage still exists. The bills still come. I still work part-time. I still clip coupons. But something inside me shifted. I stopped apologizing for taking up space. Aiden and I refinanced the house together. Not as charity but as a shared decision. Clear boundaries. Clear understanding. He doesn't come out of guilt anymore. He comes because he wants to. The empty wine bottle sits on the top shelf of my pantry. Not as a trophy. As a reminder. I am not fragile. I am not a burden. And I am not someone who can be quietly erased. And somewhere in the back of my mind I still hear that scream. Not because it scares me, but because it reminds me of the exact moment illusion shattered, and truth, quiet and steady, stood up for itself.